What's up, guys? Southeast Softwash here, and I have got one of my best good friends. Who are you?
I am Joshua Brent Janney Sr. from Franklin, Georgia.
And you own what business?
I own Janney Custom Homes and Janney Remodeling and Construction.
You had a video go kind of viral recently, did you not?
That's right.
How many views did you get on that?
We got, right now, we're about to cross the threshold of 4 million views.
On
It's an ad that we ran an ad on Facebook, and one day it just kind of caught on.
Yeah, it was a great ad, and that's something we can talk about here. Is so before we get too far into any of this stuff, we're going to hit several topics. But Brent's in a completely different line of work. He is a home builder, right? So start to finish, from grading to turnkey construction, and pretty successful. How long have you been in business?
I've been building since 2014, but actually building homes 2017.
Okay.
And
so roughly close to the same, a little bit longer than us in business. Yeah. How many guys you got working for you?
Currently,
in the construction world,
week to week that varies. It depends
on what the local meth supply is doing.
it depends on if it's a high week for them, if they're having a high yield week. But typically, I've got about 3 real experienced guys, and I try to have a helper for each one of those guys. So typically about 6, and then 7 count myself.
How many houses did y'all build last year?
Last year we built about 4 houses total, and then
what are you going to do this year?
This year, already in June, we're already up to 8 houses.
That's really good.
We're on right now.
So, me and him, we're buddies. I hadn't seen him in a while because we used to go to the same church. Now we go to different churches. So I wanted to get him in here and just get somebody that's outside the realm of pressure washing, because a lot of this stuff, it translates over to any small, call it medium business size that you can run, and they're doing great. Build some beautiful stuff. Chip and Joanna Gaines looking stuff is what that video that took off.
Any Pinterest mom, we just try to do whatever Pinterest
whatever
mom
do.
wants.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually a really good strategy. Don't follow the Karens.
No, you can. This is one rule of thumb I always take into, and I don't want to give away my secrets right here or anything, but one thing, the way I always weed the Karens out is I'll say that we're going to meet on a Saturday. I'll say we're going to meet on a Saturday and
to do like the preliminary discussion with the potential homeowner.
We'll have everything.
Schedule a day.
We'll have everything scheduled to meet up to sit down and talk with them. And one way I found, now this came about kind of me just being just too scatterbrained, but I found out through accidentally
in the process
that I was able to filter out a lot of crap. What I'll do is I'll change the schedule just at the last minute, and usually that filters out every last Karen that you can run across.
Karens don't do well with filters.
No,
they don't do well with changes. So we have a lot in common with the struggles of a small business and growing a business and challenges. Insurance, we were talking about taxes, just the money, there's so many things to consider. Guys, I say this all the time. Pressure washing ain't hard. Building a house it's hard work, but it ain't rocket surgery. But running a business it takes a lot of mental. You can do great all year, and then the IRS shows up. Mm-hmm. So and you've got to plan for these things. So don't get too big without taking time to stop and think about these detail things. Like number one, we'll go ahead and talk about taxes, right? So you had a pretty good tax burden last year. We did as well. We got lucky and had some breaks last year, but that was the last year we're going to be able to use them. So that's one reason I bought those trucks yesterday. Yeah. Trying to, I'd rather have something to show for it than.
Well, it's kind of like what Trump said, and I like this about him. He said, when they was talking about his tax returns, he said, I didn't pay taxes last year. And a lot of people just were up in arms about that. And they were like, oh, he didn't pay taxes. He's a billionaire. And he said, it's because I'm smart.
That's right.
And that's true. Anybody that runs a business knows exactly what he's talking about. You you can learn how to take that money and invest it or spend it in certain areas so that you can get by
Right.
the tax man and not have to eat that.
I'm not working for the government if I can help it at all, because all they're going to do around here is pay 431 anyway. There's one highway. They rip it up every year and repay it. Road be fine. Be smooth and stable. All right, boys, go out there and rip up 431. Like, what are you doing, man? Can't y'all pay some of these county roads?
No.
So taxes is a big deal. We pay quarterly estimated taxes, which helps us out to not be in a mess. But if you don't have an accountant, you need to find one. My wife does my taxes. Okay. Mine does mine. But that's her profession. She went to school for that. Find a good bookkeeper.
Yeah.
You will be screwed. And,
I just kind of a word of advice right here. If you're going to your tax accountant because he can get you back a lot of money on your income tax, that's not the one you want.
That's all right for a year or two.
Yeah, that's all right.
Catch you eventually.
When you're all about the small beans, but you start getting in the bigger rounds, you'll find out real quick that that guy's going to mess you up big time when it comes to that.
Another thing, small business, medium business size, the bigger you get, the more that we were talking about this, you have to delegate things out. You have to put systems in place, because I know I just know what the answer to this question is. You ever walked into a room or went to do something and you have no idea why you're there because your brain is so full of stuff? I think last year was like that for you a lot.
Absolutely.
And the year before was pretty bad on you too, because we'd be together hanging out and he's like, put it up, and then and then when I quit my job and went full time, you were like, man, I'm glad you're doing it, man, yeah. And I know what you're really saying now. You're like, welcome to the club, stupid. Because you don't get a day off. You can't stop. And you'd be like, well, screw it, I'm going to put my phone up. No, you're not. You're not. No. The only reason I've been able to get away from my phone a little bit is because I've hired somebody to answer it for me. But you can't do that. Right. Like, the nature of it is very mentally draining.
Well, and another thing I've seen too is that most of us we're in what we love to do.
Yeah,
we're doing what we love to do, or we wouldn't be doing it. And it's like, for me, I had 2 cell phones at one time. I was going to my whole
Heisenberg.
Yeah, I was
second cell phone,
old burner phone. The whole intention and plan was that every day at 7 o'clock I was going to turn my phone off. And if family or anybody like that wanted to get a hold of me, they could call that number. It does not work.
No.
I mean, if anybody's got any suggestions out there, I mean, maybe a second identity that I could slip into. Maybe.
But what about people calling you and wasting your time?
Oh, Lord. Home advisor is going to call you at least
6 times a day.
Yeah. I will say that you better learn how to weed those out. Just if it's a number you don't recognize, just let it roll.
In the initial stages of a business, every customer, you want them all. Mm-hmm. And then the more you do, you start realizing, I don't want them all. Yeah. Like, I can be picky.
Right. You want to be able to focus on the ones you got. The ones you got, most time you really like them. You really want to please them. You want to take care of their every need. That's how you got where you was at.
Yeah.
And so, for me, when you get so much going on, it's like that focus begins to kind of drift away because you got too much going on. You got too many people coming in.
Anything you can automate helps. Paperwork, it takes up time, and it's not productive time. So if you can automate that stuff or delegate it to somebody, it helps. That's
kind of one area that we're just beginning to. And maybe this will be helpful right here, because for me, it's just kind of like a trial by fire experience. You really have to get to the point where you've got to learn to trust the people you're working with to be able to handle what's going on. Like, one of my guys, he's been very loyal for the last two and a half years or so. And at Christmas, we had a really, really good year last year. And so I try to give bonuses. I try to take care of my guys. I try to give them promotions and things, just to kind of give them that drive to keep pushing them to want to get better. Because then they're invested in the company. They're invested, and you want your guys to be in, but you don't want it to be all about you. It's a family.
It's
really
a team event,
and you get that when they begin to I had to start trusting guys to manage things for me, and that's really
it's hard.
The hardest place is really the transition from small to medium.
Yeah,
that it's because I don't think there's college for that.
Well, this is your baby.
Yeah.
That's your name. And the fear is if you give them that authority to make those decisions, they're going to screw it up. And they might. But here's what you've got to do is you've got to hire good people. I talked about this the other day. The question was, how do you motivate your people? You don't. You hire motivated people. Right. And then if they're motivated, you can help keep them that way. There may be days where they motivate you.
Exactly.
But if you're hiring donkeys, don't expect thoroughbred performance out of donkeys.
And I'm going to tell you what's got a lot to do with it too is you've got to be willing to pay them. I have found that, I mean, there's some guys, now I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, 25 and under, you might as well forget it.
It's pretty hard.
I'm telling you, the Gen Z, my hat's off to whoever has to hire these guys in the future because I done made a policy.
How old are you?
I'm 33. Well, I might be 33 in a couple days.
Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll be 34. Hey, what's up?
I
didn't even know it was my birthday. You know what? I work too much. Ain't got time for that crap. I ain't got time for that crap. Hush puppies. Man. That was a Smokey and the Bandit record. Those who don't know. But it is. You have to treat them right, and you have to discipline them when they need it.
Right.
Like, don't be afraid to have harsh conversations or tough conversations because as long as you're doing it with the right spirit for the right reason to better your guys, they can see through that. Right. And if they're the right guy, they take the lumps and move on because they know there's a bigger picture. Right. Don't beat up on them just for the sake of beating up on them, but when they mess up, hold them accountable. I tell you what, your homeowners, your customers hold you accountable.
Right, exactly.
When you mess up. Somebody's hold me accountable. Mm-hmm. When we mess up, we're not perfect. We have quality issues. Granted, I don't know what the number is, but I would say it's, if we had a quality rating, it's probably 95%. That's not bad. I want it to be 100. We're not ever going to be 100. Nothing's ever 100. But when I have a customer call and say, hey, man, this thing's messed up, it's going wrong, as long as he's not an idiot, I'm going to make it right. I'm going to try my best to fix it. If he's got to fix it, I'm going to compensate him for his hassle. They're holding me accountable. Right. So, by God, I'm going to hold them guys out there on that floor accountable.
And that's what, I mean, and you learn, too, because you can kind of remember when you were at that stage, when you were kind of there. And for me, what's helpful for me is just to kind of go back. It's kind of the golden rule sort of deal where you want to treat them like you wanted to be treated when you was there. And I have found that respect goes a long ways. You got to kind of, you really got to watch the temper. Yeah. Because I have now, that's where I wish to God that in the past I just would have been a little better in my temper with some guys. And you learn how to control that over time, but also you got to be reasonable. That's I mean. Yeah. There's going to be time, your guys are going to mess up. There's going to be times where they mess up time to time, and you just got to learn
what it is.
And I love the guys that come through, some of the younger guys, going back to the Gen Z, almost every Gen Zer that comes through, they all tell me, yeah, one of these days I'm going to start me an empire. I'm going to have my empire. I ain't going to have to answer to nobody.
Wait a minute. What kind of truck do you drive?
I drive a Ford F-250.
What trim package?
It's King Ranch.
What's the color scheme on it?
It's a white and gold.
I also drive. My brother.
Did we just say best friends?
So there's so much room in the cab for activities.
Absolutely.
But
yes. The leather.
They think that you just, and you probably are, but they think that you just sit in the truck and count money.
Oh Lord!
And you drive and bid job, but that's an essential part of the business. I don't get that from my guys, but Dusty is a business partner. Like he's me. Right. But I know that at some point we're going to hire a person who's going to think the same thing. Mm-hmm. You build up to that. Exactly. You're the boss for a reason. Like there are perks of being the boss, or I wouldn't be. It's good to be the king.
Well, that one thing they don't realize too is I always hear the younger guys say this is that I can't wait till I can be my own boss. Here's the thing: you never really are. You never really. It's kind of like Bob Dylan. He sang a song that said, "You've got to serve somebody."
That's right. It sounds better, and I'm not saying it's not better. Like I wouldn't trade, right. But it's not easy.
No,
it's you. Everything's riding on you.
There's no hours.
There's no 9 to 5. When they leave, they're done thinking about it. You're never done thinking about it.
When your guys go on vacation,
they go on vacation. You don't.
We don't go on vacation. No. There's no where I'm at now, there's no time out from the homeowner. They have needs. They're going to have to be met, and you're going to have to be there for them. That's just kind of.
Well, let's go into another topic I want to talk about: safety. We start our monthly class. The very first few slides are safety slides. I'm a former safety manager, but I wasn't ever like a stupid safety manager. There's a lot of people hate the safety guy because he's usually an idiot. But I was trying to be honest, common sense. Sometimes, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, but do it safely. But you had a really close call on job site.
Yes.
What was it, 2 years ago?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it had to be 2 years.
I don't know how much detail you want to go in, but it was a bad day.
It was a very bad day. It was a scary day because my guy, it might be one of his managers now. Well, I had an employee. We were framing a house over in Omaha, Alabama, and we were working. And I've never ever even heard stories of this. Never seen it. Never thought it would happen to me. But me and my guy, we're putting up a main ridge for a garage, and as we're putting up the ridge, I have one in and he has one in, and I'm shooting. You kind of have to hold the ridge and shoot raptors at the same time. It's kind of one of the deals. It's a tough area. And I'm shooting my side, and I'm shooting in, and all of a sudden I hear behind me, I hear, and I was like, "You all right back there, man?" He said, and I was like, "You shot your wrist?" And he said, "My ribs." And I look back, and no lie. I mean, he's sitting there, and he's pulling on his shirt like this, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is my manager now, Chris. Don't hold that again. Chris is a great guy.
Not an idiot.
No, he's not an idiot. It was just one of those freak accidents. One of those things that there's nothing you can do.
They used to say in the corporate world at Walmart, all accidents are preventable. They'd have them little videos from like 1962. Like, all accidents. No, they ain't. It wouldn't be called an accident. It'd be called a killing. So, what, 16 penny?
Yeah, 16 penny. It was a pass load 3-inch nail. He shot it directly into his rib cage.
And in this area.
You see, when deer hunters are going out hunting, they're always, if you always see the sign when they had the practice range, the rib cage right up under the arm there, that's the vital region that they aim for, and that's exactly where he hit. It might have been the hunter in him, I don't know, but he shot right there, and immediately it's just like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah,
he's
got a 16 penny nail, the head of it flush with his.
He finally got his shirt pulled off. He pulls his shirt off, and look, sure enough, oh my gosh.
Do you pull it out? What do you?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Because the guy's got, I don't know. You can tell his face is going flush white, and I'm like, oh God, is he dying? Is he okay? Well, we get him down. We set him down. We keep a first aid kit. Lord God, keep your first aid around at all times. Have an emergency plan.
Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Absolutely. Like I said, these are most time as a small business owner, you kind of learn this stuff.
Yeah.
At fault. You've got to learn. You kind of, if you don't learn from your errors, you've got to learn how to learn from your errors, or you're going to keep on making the same mistakes. Well, we had our emergency preparedness kit. Thank God we had that. Well, we called the paramedics out there, and the Omaha paramedic, as soon as he pulls up, he's just like blunt as he can be with him. He says, "You might die." He just told the guy sitting there going in the shop. He's like, "Man, dude, you might die." And Chris, he's sitting there like in the chair, just about to go in the shop. He's like, "Thanks, man." Now this is something.
It's funny now.
It was real funny now, but then I was like, I thought I was done for. I thought he's going to sue me out of existence. That's it. We had to. This is a no joke. We had to. Because of the vital region that was shot, they had to take every precaution. They had to life flight a helicopter in to get him.
Took him to Atlanta?
Yeah, took him to Atlanta.
He calls me that day. freaked out. I was working or something, and I was like, dude, let's go to Atlanta. So I loaded up when we 2-hour drive. We get up there.
Well, and what's funny now, my uncle was working with me at the time, and he was just trying to be. He was trying to make the situation lighthearted, just because that's what Jennies do. And he comes out with a nail puller and is going to start trying to pull it out of him. And he's like, well, you just put some pizza flat on it. It's all right. Well, what's funny is Chris, when I asked him how they pulled it out at the hospital, he says, they pretty much got a set of pliers and pulled it out of him.
Yeah. How close was it to his heart?
It actually had entered into his heart 2 millimeters.
So it punctured the heart probably about that much.
Just a little bit. Just enough to not really hurt him.
Yeah.
He had a nail in him. But what's funny though is that this happened on a Monday.
I guess you could say he nailed it. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, buddy.
So as he's a friend. You work with this guy every day. You get one of these shoved into your chest cavity. You've got that part of it, but then you also, as a little time goes by and he's in Atlanta, you've got time to think, you're freaking out because, oh my goodness, what is going to come of this?
We're thinking about all the things we don't have.
Right.
We're thinking about, because at the time we didn't really have any kind of insurance. We didn't have any kind of workman's comp or anything like that. And that's why it's really important for you to legitimize.
That's right.
And get
legit as soon as you can.
Absolutely.
Like I'm all about, like, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but you can't just, like, if you've got the money to just start up, buy a brand new truck, equipment, tools, insurance, logos, advertising, marketing, that's great for you.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that. So but here's the flip side of that coin. Is don't keep putting that crap off and look at it as luxury items. They're not. They're necessary things.
They're there for a reason. That's the reason why these things are required is because they're there for a reason. They're there as safeguards to protect you and your company.
That's right.
From going under. I mean, it really is things and what's crazy with a small business, especially in a small town area like we're from. He's from East Alabama, I'm from the West Georgia area. We're right on the line with each other.
Big rivalry.
And but it's crazy with a small business. It's like really kind of at first you really can't afford those things, but as soon as you get to the place where you can really,
the first thing you've got to do is buy tools.
Exactly.
Like you have to. Okay, we've got to have that. Like, and then you just keep building on that, right? But here's what you don't want to do is build this empire and forget things like insurance, forget things like taxes, because those are catastrophic things that come out of the blue one day and you're scuttled. Like, you sunk my battleship. Like,
it'll be one of those things where no matter how much progress you made, it'll be all for naught.
Yeah.
And I will say this with Chris. The great thing about Chris was he was a great friend, great guy. He was so invested in the company that he was not some guy just trying. It's not like he was some guy just waiting for an accident to happen so he could take the company. He was invested in the company, so he was not. It's not like he was sitting there.
He was,
even though he could have, very well could have sued me out of existence. But thank God he was a good enough friend that it didn't go that route.
Yeah, but a lot of times we have to hire people that we don't have that level of repertoire and family and bond with. If something happens to Dusty, sorry dude, cut your finger off, I don't know what to tell you, but if something happens to a random person that I hire one day out here in the shop, and that's one reason, guys, that you have to cover yourself. You need to have monthly safety topics. You need to train your guys on everything. You need to get rid of damaged, faulty equipment. You need to document all of the above. So all of those things are great, but if you don't document them, they never happen.
Right. And also something that's very, very, very important is drug test regular. I'm telling you, drug test regular. You will weed out, literally, you will weed out so much junk. I mean, you may think that getting by right now with old Cheech and Chong over there that they're not going to be a problem, but these guys are not invested in the company. They're not. They're there for them. They don't care about anything. They obviously don't care about themselves.
That's right.
If they don't care about themselves, then they're not going to care about you or anybody else. And so that let's just go ahead and because that's where I see a lot of, and I don't know if there are any other construction companies out there listening, but if you've got guys that are regularly getting high, regularly taking pain pills and all these things, I'm telling you,
it's a problem in service business industries because a lot of guys that, you've got professional guys, you've got guys that could go and make a killing in the corporate world, but they just do this what they do. Right. But a lot of lower class people are attracted to this, people with a background, people with drug problems. Not saying that those guys don't deserve a shot, but if they're still in that life, I don't want them working for me.
Well, exactly, man. And I have worked guys that had that pass, and I don't have a perfect pass. I've had some things that's really messed me up in the past, but everybody does deserve a second chance. But it's when you get into those recurring chances.
That's right. If it's a lifestyle, then it's gonna be hard to work with them. So. Right. Well, I think that's some good info. Appreciate it sitting down, dude. We've been trying to do this forever, but we're just super busy. So hope you guys got something out of that. Janney Construction, check them out online, Facebook. What do they need to look up on Facebook?
Just Facebook.com/Janney Custom Homes. We've actually got a website that's in the works right now. It's JanneyCustomHomes.com. We build mainly in the West Georgia area, the East Alabama area. We'd love to have anybody's business.
If you're in our neck of the woods and you need some construction done, they do some jam up stuff. I wish he wasn't so busy I could get him to remodel my house, but that's that piddly crap they ain't got time to do. So. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully you gleaned some good info for that. I got a new hat out of it, so that's a good day. We'll see you later, guys. Peace out.